In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about inflorescence. What is inflorescence? It is a collection or aggregation of flowers on an individual plant or aggregation of flowers on floral axis. Look at the structure. This is the stem or branch to which the floral axis are attached, and these are the flowers that are arranged on a single floral axis. So this is an aggregation of flower or collection of flower on this floral axis. Such type of arrangement in plants is known as inflorescence. Now, what is the function of inflorescence? So it enhances pollination by attracting more pollinators. These flowers, this can be seen from a large distance, so they attract more and more pollinators, and in this way they enhance pollination. In inflorescence parts, there are various parts associated with the inflorescence. We will discuss each of them. The very first one is the peduncle, the stalk of an entire inflorescence with the help of which it attached to the stem is known as peduncle. It is the stalk, this stalk, with the help of which this inflorescence attached to this stem. So this is the peduncle. Such inflorescence is known as pedunculate inflorescence. Inflorescence in which peduncle is present is known as pedunculate inflorescence. The other term is the inflorescence bracket. It is a modified or specialized leaf associated with the inflorescence. It is present at the stem and peduncle junction. This is the junction between peduncle and stem. It is present over here. This leaf-like structure is known as inflorescence. Bracket found in individual flower is known as floral bracket. This is the individual flower. This is the bracket of individual flower known as floral bracket, while this is the peduncle and this is the inflorescence bracket. Now another one is compound receptacle or torus. It is a mass of tissues at the apex of a peduncle that bears more than one flower. This is a mass of tissues. It is the longitudinal section of a flower like sunflower or other flowers of the family Asteraceae. It is a mass of tissues at the apex. Here is the peduncle. This is the peduncle apex, and it bears more than one flower. These are the flowers. Small flowers arranged on this disc-shaped receptacle, or also known as torus. The other term is Rachis. A central axis in inflorescence is known as Rachis or Rachis, while the second order of axis found in compound raceme is known as Rachel. This is the stem, this is the floral axis, this is the peduncle, and these are the pedicel of the individual flower. This one, this, and this one, this one. These are the pedicel of each individual flower, while this main axis is known as rachis. Now, if there is second order of axis, like this is the main axis, and here is the other axis on which sides flowers are present, it will be known as rachel. Now, inflorescence development. How inflorescence develop? There are two types of development that occurs in inflorescence. The very first one is determinate inflorescence, in which the apical meristem of the primary inflorescence axis terminates in a flower, is known as determinate development or determinate inflorescence. If this axis grows, and here first form the flower at the top, and then at the flower formation, the development of this axis comes to an end. Such type of development is known as determinate, in which the growth comes to an end. When this flower form, no further growth will occur, and these flower will form later on. The formation of this flower, the terminal flower mature first, with the subsequent maturation occurring from apex to base. Here is the maturation from apex to base. That is a characteristic of cymose inflorescence. Cymose inflorescence are those inflorescences in which the young flower or first flower formed at the top. Another one is indeterminate inflorescence. In this type of development, the apical meristem doesn't develop into a flower. Flowers at the base mature first, with maturation occurring from base to top. It is the characteristic of raceme. This is the main branch or axis. This grows in this direction and forming flower. These flowers are formed. The axis then grows. Then these flowers are formed, and this will continues in this manner. New flowers are formed at the top. Old lies to the base. Characteristic of raceme. Now, types of inflorescence. There are two main types of inflorescence: racemose and cymose. Number one, cymose inflorescence. Inflorescence in which the main axis completes its growth by forming first flower showing determinate growth. Flower arises from top to base. In cymose inflorescence, the main axis completes its growth by forming first flower. This is the first flower which mature first, and the growth of this axis comes to an end. The other flowers are then formed later on from top to base. Old flowers or first form flowers are at the top. This is the first form or old flower, and new and young flowers are at the base. Now, types of cymose inflorescence. Monochasial cymose inflorescence in which main axis give rise to a single lateral flower, which further give rise to a single lateral flower. This is the first flower formed. This give rise to this one, and this flower further give rise to single lateral flower, this one, and this one give rise to this one, and in the same way the others are give rise to lateral flowers. Now, types of monochasial cyme. Helicoid cyme or bosterix inflorescence in which the lateral branches or flowers are restricted to one side of the main axis, causing the efflorescence in curve. In this case, the flowers are formed in a towards a single side, in due to which the floral axis curve, or the axis causing the inflorescence to curve. This is the plant Heliotropium cerasevicum, family Boraginaceae, and you can see the curve in these inflorescence. The flowers are formed on a single side. That's why the axis curves in this direction, while the flowers are in this direction, upper direction. Found in Mcinci intermedia and Heliotropium cerasevicum. Number second, scorpoid cyme, monochasial cyme in which floral branching form a zigzag pattern because of flowers development are left and right alternatively. In scorpoid inflorescence, the flowers developed. This is the first flower. This give rise into this lateral, but to the right, and this to the left, and then this one to the right, this one to the left. So left, right alternatively. Such type of arrangement of inflorescence or cymose inflorescence or monochasial inflorescence is known as scorpoid, which form a zigzag path, e.g. in Solanum nigrum. These are the flowers of Solanum nigrum. This is to the left, then right, then left, then right, left. So it forms a zigzag path like this. The other type of cymose inflorescence is dichasial. One monochasial, the second one is dichasial. Inflorescence in which two lateral flowers arise from the same point. Look at the structure. This is the terminal flower or first flower of Silene conidia. This gives rise to two lateral flowers. These are two lateral flowers that arise from the same point. This further gives rise to two flowers arise from the same point. Such type of inflorescence development or arrangement is known as diacaseal cyme. It is a type of cymose inflorescence. This is found in Silene conidia. This is the Silene conidia plant, Spargula pentandra. This also possesses such type of inflorescence.